Welcome back. So today we're going to speak about the 9 criteria of borderline personality disorder. Now, borderline personality disorder has many different patterns, right? It doesn't look the same in every person, right? No two different people with borderline personality disorder are the same. Now, last week we described or defined the diagnosis of borderline personality disorder. In this video, we're going to explain how do you know if you have borderline personality disorder.
Disclaimer alert. Please pause the video and read the disclaimer.
Now, this video is not meant for you to self-diagnose. So if you have or you suspect that you have borderline personality disorder, please seek for help. Look for a professional in your area, somebody who is a qualified psychologist or who is clinical social worker or somebody who works in the mental health area so they can direct you to the right place. So, as I've already said, there's 9 criteria of borderline personality disorder, and if you have 5 of these, then that means you have borderline personality disorder. All right, so let's get started. So number 1 is the extreme fear of abandonment. You don't want to be left. You don't want to be broken up with. You don't want to be abandoned. So people who are afraid to be abandoned. So these are people who also have that anxious, ambivalent attachment style. They want to attach. They want to have a relationship with you, but they're also afraid of you abandoning them. So they are really caught in between a rock and a hard place. Number 2 is that people with borderline personality disorder most of the time have unstable relationships. And this could be because of their extreme or erratic behaviors, right? They can be sweet and kind, and sometimes they can just explode on you, right? So they feel emotion intensely, but they can also just feel no emotions at all. Number 3, and this might also sound familiar because we spoke about it when we spoke about people who suffered from ACEs, right? So they can be very impulsive, right? They do things in excessive, right? They drink too much, they shop too much, they eat too much, they just do things that are just impulsive, right? And that leads us to number 4, which is they tend to do self-harm, right? Whether it be through drugs or alcohol, or have a lot of suicide ideation. These people often talk about killing themselves or harming themselves, right? Their emotions sometimes get so extreme that they even get to a point where they will self-harm just to reduce or to come and get to that stable place of where, okay, these are intense emotions, I understand them, I know them, and I can stand them. They also have explosive anger, right? The littlest things they can just like that. Often some people, you'll hear them say they are ticking bombs, right? The littlest things just makes them get out of hand. They also have mood swings, right? Sometimes it seems as if throughout the day they are going up and down, up and down, up and down. Sometimes they are people, when you look at people with borderline personality disorder, you can actually misconstrue them with people who have bipolar disorder, right? Because they just go up in one rage and they go just down. But in one of the following videos, I'll talk about the differences between borderline personality disorder and bipolar disorder, because they're not the same. They might look the same, but they are not the same. Number 7 is that they have shifting self-image or unclear self-image, right? They tend to change with people. So depending on who they are with right now and what that person does and believe, they change to that person, right? So they don't really have a clear sense of self that, hey, this is who I am and this is what I stand for, this is what I believe. They move up and down with the wind, basically. And this also sounds familiar when you think about narcissistic disorder. That's why sometimes borderline personality disorder in men can be misdiagnosed as narcissistic behavior because of some things like that. They kind of overlap, but where these mental issues are different is clear. And subscribe, keep watching, and I will explain more about what are the differences. Number 8 is that they feel chronic emptiness, or you'll hear a person say, I'm numb, I just don't feel anything. It's because they are trying to stabilize themselves. That high and low just gets so much for them that they just get to a point where they're like, yeah, block everything, it's better, I just don't feel, right? So that's one of the things. And they can stay in that numbness in long periods of time where they just feel like life is a little bit stable or bearable because of the numbing. They'll also have suspicion to people and things, right? They are often out of touch with reality. They've been damaged so much that they often feel like somebody's out there to get them. Somebody's doing something behind their back. So, as I said, no two people with borderline personality disorder are the same. But if you have 5 or more of these criteria, then you might be struggling with borderline personality disorder. And I would suggest that you go see somebody in your local mental health center so that they can help you navigate this. There are many treatment therapies. I know of 3 that are really helpful that I've seen work for many people. And please share the video. I will see you in the next video. Deuces.